Hey, Kaylin, you're a pretty good basketball player, but you make it from here.
Jason, show them how you make it rain from downtown.
Can you hit it from here, Caitlin?
Oh! Yep! Baller! Bet you can't do that, Caitlin.
Anyone else?
Nike had the opportunity to launch Caitlin Clark's signature shoe years ago. They chose not to. They could have rushed a release when the buzz was loudest, but they passed on that too. The delay wasn't confusion or second guessing. It wasn't oversight. It was calculated. Nike wasn't waiting to see if Caitlin Clark would become something special. They were waiting for the point when the entire sports landscape would already know. When Nike finally unveiled the From Anywhere commercial, the reaction was immediate. This didn't come across like a routine endorsement or a temporary stand-in. Everything about it felt planned. The ad aired on Christmas Day, placed directly alongside NFL and NBA broadcasts. That slot isn't given to developing names or experimental bets. That space is reserved for athletes who carry weight. That placement answered a question fans had been asking for almost 2 years. Nike held the most influential player in women's basketball, and arguably the most recognizable figure in women's sports, yet nothing major surfaced.
Nike has not done one thing to promote her. We have not seen any commercials, we have not seen any ads, we have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise, and we for sure as hell have not seen.
Other athletes received signature deals. Nobody believed those moves would reshape Nike's future. At the same time, Caitlin Clark, the one athlete with the power to move culture and revenue, remained without a full rollout.
Hey, Caitlin! Can you make it from there?
When Nike introduced the Double C logo in early 2025, it didn't satisfy the audience. A logo doesn't signal dedication. A preview doesn't confirm trust. People were waiting for something tangible. This commercial wasn't designed just to sell a product. It was meant to establish status. Christmas Day has always been reserved for athletes who define generations. Even the format of the ad was deliberate. The structure echoed one of Nike's most legendary campaigns, calling back to Michael Jordan and Larry Bird competing in HORSE, stacking impossible shots and quiet confidence. Nike recreated that same competitive energy with Caitlin Clark without ever calling her the greatest.
Guys.
That kind of connection is never accidental. Most viewers watched the ad once and kept scrolling, but Nike layered it with signals meant for people who truly paid attention. Lisa Bluter appears precisely at the 20-second mark, matching Clark's number, standing on the exact floor spot where Caitlin broke the NCAA all-time scoring record. That detail wasn't random placement. It was Nike quietly saying they remember where this story began. Those moments weren't designed for casual viewers. They were built for fans who followed every step, every game, every milestone. On the surface, the message feels simple. Caitlin can shoot from anywhere. Logo range, half court, defenders fading into the background. Distance doesn't matter. Underneath that, the meaning runs deeper. You can come from anywhere and still make it.
Hey, Caitlin, how about from here?
Come on, guys.
A small town in Iowa, a non-traditional route, a market people didn't expect to produce a global star. That's why the slogan lands. It speaks basketball and belief at the same time. The celebrity appearances weren't random either. The Kelsey brothers, Michael Chi, Travis Scott. Each one connects to a real chapter in Caitlin Clark's rise. Different worlds, different audiences, all intersecting at the same point.
Yeah, she can't make it from there. No chance.
Caitlin, from me to left. You got it.
I'm not even gonna ask.
Hey, Caitlin from here might be impressive. Am I right?
Whatever, Che.
They were all asking the same question. That's not coincidence, that's cultural math. Caitlin Clark isn't boxed into one lane or one audience. When the Nike deal first surfaced publicly, most fans focused on a single detail, the 8-year, $28 million figure. That deal alone grabbed headlines, But what came next felt unusual. No signature shoe followed, no immediate rollout, no full-scale campaign taking over screens. For Nike, a brand built on momentum and timing, the quiet felt off. Analysts started questioning the move. Was Nike uncertain? Were they waiting to see how Caitlin Clark adjusted to the WNBA? Some wondered if the league itself still felt unstable. On the surface, the silence looked like doubt. But with Nike, silence often sends the clearest message. When they pause, it's usually because they're watching something bigger form. Here's the part most people missed. Caitlin Clark's injury didn't weaken Nike's confidence. It reinforced it. When she was out, viewership dropped. When she came back, numbers jumped right back up. That pattern told Nike something critical. This wasn't interest driven by hype cycles. This was reliance. The league didn't just gain from her being on the court. It responded when she wasn't there. That difference matters, especially with the WNBA facing uncertainty ahead. CBA negotiations, fan frustration, real questions surrounding the 2026 season. The league is going to need consistency, momentum, and a reason for fans to stay locked in. Timing matters as much as talent. Nike understands that landscape, and Caitlin Clark may be the only figure strong enough to cut through all that noise. Nike could have released a Caitlin Clark shoe in 2024. It would have been treated like a moment. Waiting turns it into something bigger. Scarcity doesn't just drive demand, it adds weight. By holding back, Nike allows the shoe to stand for more than performance. It becomes a signal of control and leverage. This partnership isn't being handled like a typical endorsement. Nike and Caitlin Clark aren't framing this release as a rare collector item. They're treating it as an entry point. Youth hoops, community programs, growth beyond the United States. That approach explains the measured rollout. You can't expand access at scale without building the system first. If Nike had moved fast, the shoe would have been tied to a single season. The story would have felt unfinished. The international reach would have stalled early. Instead, Nike waited until Caitlin's influence was undeniable. No debates left, no hypotheticals, just reality. That's the moment when a product stops being a release and starts becoming a long-term platform. The From Anywhere campaign wasn't focused on immediate sales. It was about shaping perception. Nike didn't introduce a shoe. They introduced an idea. The idea that Caitlin Clark doesn't depend on situation or setting. She operates above it. By the time the product finally arrives, the narrative will already be absorbed. That's controlled brand building. Brands don't delay without certainty. Nike didn't pause because of doubt surrounding Caitlin Clark. They paused because they were sure. Sure that her influence compounds over time. Sure that the league continues to grow around her. Sure that her reach expands instead of narrowing. That's why patience aligned with the plan. This move quietly shifts the standard. For the first time, a women's signature shoe is being developed like a legacy franchise. Not rushed, not treated as a test, not positioned as secondary. Built with time in a way that sends a message well beyond Caitlin Clark.
So right here.
From there.
From anywhere.
All right, well, looks like she can do it.
By 2026, her return feels like a moment. The WNBA is now operating from a stronger foundation. Nike holds control of the story. This isn't a release scrambling for relevance. It's relevance meeting preparation. Nike also plays the long game. A rushed shoe flares up and fades out. A patient rollout lasts, syncing Caitlin Clark's prime years with the full life cycle of the product. Nike makes sure this isn't limited to one season. It turns into a sequence. One chapter leads to the next, and then another. When the shoe finally arrives, it won't need to be explained. It won't need defending. It won't need artificial hype. The audience will already be prepared because Nike didn't chase attention. They waited for everything to line up. That same patience started on a driveway in Iowa. Now it's shaping the most important stretch of her career. The groundwork was laid long before the spotlight peaked. Nike didn't delay by chance. They delayed because timing decides outcomes. Every move was measured, every pause intentional. So the real question isn't whether Nike waited too long. The question is whether this was timed exactly the way it needed to be. By the time the shoe officially lands, the environment will already be set. Fans won't be discovering Caitlin Clark. They'll be meeting the product that finally matches what they've been watching for years. That distinction matters. Nike isn't introducing her to the public. The public already showed up. This approach shifts power away from marketing noise and puts it into earned presence. Highlights didn't build this moment alone. Consistency did. Sold-out arenas, ratings spikes, conversations that didn't fade when the season ended. Nike watched all of that stack up before making a move. That's why the rollout feels quiet instead of loud. Loud campaigns beg for attention. Quiet ones assume it's already there. Nike is operating from that assumption. They're not asking fans to believe. They're responding to belief that already exists. When the shoe finally appears, it won't feel like a debut. It will feel like confirmation, like something that should have existed all along, now finally catching up to reality. That's how staying power is created. Nike didn't build this moment to win a week or a quarter. They built it to last through seasons, roster changes, and league shifts. That kind of thinking doesn't chase trends. It waits until trends have no choice but to follow. There's also a bigger play happening behind the scenes. Nike isn't just betting on Caitlin Clark as an individual, they're anchoring an era. When one athlete becomes the reference point, everything else starts to align around them. Style, storytelling, investment, attention. That's rare, especially in women's basketball, where momentum has often come in waves instead of lines. Nike is trying to turn waves into structure. That only works if the athlete at the center holds pressure without cracking. Caitlin has already shown she can. Every delay added clarity. Each season removed doubt. By waiting, Nike let the audience do the validating for them. That's cleaner than forcing belief through ads and slogans. When this shoe finally enters the market, it won't be standing alone. It will sit inside a system that's already been tested. Youth players copying moves, coaches referencing her range, broadcasters shaping coverage around her presence. That's influence you don't rush. Nike didn't manufacture this moment. They observed it, measured it, and then stepped in when it was unavoidable. That's the difference between selling a product and defining a standard. This story was never about a shoe arriving late. It was about a moment arriving on time. Nike didn't gamble on hype or chase noise. They watched the landscape shift, saw where power was settling, and waited until the ground was solid. By the time everything aligned, there was nothing left to prove. Caitlin Clark didn't need a rollout to validate her. The numbers already did that. The crowds did that. The way the league moves when she's on the floor and slows when she's not. Already answered every question. Nike didn't create that reality. They positioned themselves inside it. When the shoe finally drops, it won't feel like a launch. It'll feel like recognition, like the last piece clicking into place after years of buildup. That's why this move lands heavier than a normal endorsement. It carries history, patience, and control. Most brands react. Nike waited. Most moments fade. This one compounds. And when people look back, this won't be remembered as a delayed release. It'll be remembered as the point where women's basketball stopped being treated like a side story and started being treated like a cornerstone. If you want to stay ahead of what's really happening behind the scenes, the decisions before the headlines and the moves before they become obvious, that's what Courtside Leaks is built for. This wasn't luck. It was timing. We've got every angle covered, every leak, every backstage twist, every moment they won't show you. Hit like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share this video. Stay locked in with Courtside Leaks, your home for the truth behind the WNBA headlines.